Where's the mic? Okay, I guess that's the mic. Today is Friday, the 28th of February, and tomorrow is another day of February because it's one of those years which is February is 29 days, so it is very early on Friday morning at the moment. It's 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. And I am kind of battling a head cold. I've got the feeling I could sneeze. Hello. So I'm just putting my phone in my breast pocket. That's the advantage of having a jacket. It's got a pocket like this. Pretty handy for dictaphones and mobile phones if you want to talk into them. Because you don't have to hold it, have it stuck in the pocket. And I'm pretty sure it's picking up everything from there. I have got a cold. A cold. I don't think you'd call it a flu, really. Because, well, we'll have to see the way it develops, but so far it's been about 2 or 3 days. It's not really been that bad. It's more kind of a real kind of head cold thing. And we'll see. It's hard to know whether I'm at the beginning of it or if it's passing, I don't know. But I haven't got to the stage of having to blow my nose. And, you know, I'm not kind of, my nose is not running like a tap. I've managed to not blow my nose very much. I always think if you start doing that, it's going to make things worse. And I don't really have a cough or anything, so I hope it's going to be a mild one. Otherwise, today is the 28th of February. And in another year, this would be the last day of the month, but this is a leap year. Don't know why they call it a leap year, but it means there's an extra day in the month, which means tomorrow is the 29th of February, Saturday. heading toward the roundabout at the Opalin Old Folks Home, where poor Sam has been languishing now for a couple of years. It's a nice day today. Yesterday was snowing. Today is a bit breezy, a bit chilly, but it's clear and blue. I didn't sleep well last night. I went to bed late, and I knew with the cold like this, as soon as you lie down, you get a dry cough, and you don't want to wake everybody up, and then your nose starts running. You just don't feel tired. Could have done with one of those night nurse things that will knock you out. So I don't know what time it was when I slept. Maybe 4. I guess it's not too bad. And then I woke up at 7, that's 3 hours. And then after 7 it was 10. It's another 3 hours, so 6-7 hours is pretty good. I was watching some vlogs last night. I put the search in philosophy vlog, and then I go to filters, and I put in today, so it's just what's been uploaded today. And anyway, I found one video of this guy, and the video is kind of titled, "Is there just my life of any meaning? Does life or my life have any meaning?" I kind of related to him, even though he's a much younger guy. And it was something I would have said myself maybe in my 20s. But it's you don't... You can say something in your early 20s, but it has a completely different resonance when you say it in your 50s. Because I always find from looking at my writings and stuff from way back in the early 90s, it's more kind of a stylish thing to say stuff, write stuff. But you don't really feel words, you know. Well, John, you don't really feel the words you're saying. They don't really, I've already said it, they don't really resonate. They do a little bit, but there's such a colossal difference in the mind of a 20-year-old and a 50-year-old. So this guy was saying all this, but you could kind of tell from his demeanor and everything that it's not like he was really living his philosophy, if you like. And I left a comment underneath and I said, it really is a personal choice. If you feel your life is meaningless, then that's up to you. But I feel the whole wonderful challenge is to try and increase your faculty so that you get to a point where even the small things in life are interesting. Sometimes when you say things, you're actually talking to yourself. And what I said resonated with myself, because I expressed it in a different way. I said, even the small things become interesting, and I didn't use the word inspiring or invigorating or motivating. I used the word interesting. Now, on a day like today, I'm not feeling best, but really, although I do have in the back burner this video for this little camera, and I'm looking forward to doing that, I really am. I want to do it, and I want to link all the videos I've done so far underneath in the description. Not because anyone's going to look at it, but because I want to do that. I've seen other people do that. But that's something for me to look forward to doing maybe tonight. Now, I don't always have something, though, to connect with. So, in a way, I don't always practice what I preach when I wrote that line last night. Because other than that camera thing, I'm not kind of soaring or anything at the moment. So I guess when I wrote the comment, I ended up thinking to myself, so okay, how do you increase your faculty? Because it's a wonderful, I think it's a wonderful idea. The notion that it is you've got in you, so that you can have an appreciation for the things of life. That's this is in the distance. Things like that. That's how your faculty is hopefully growing.
allez vous demander comment
On va en profiter, mais on a...
Ils allaient vous demander comment on fait pour pouvoir.
Four or five people walking. Right, I'm heading up the hill. It's a bit like when we were kids. And you had to come up with ways of entertaining yourself through play. You know, kind of came up with different stories, and you'd relate to certain toys in a cinematic way, where you'd be playing out movies and stuff. Or you'd be inspired to write about your encounters. I remember one time I'd be meeting people. This is when I was about 10 or 11, 12, and I'd speak to people, and then I would grade them. I'd say, oh, Martina or so-and-so was not very friendly today. I give her 5 out of 10. In the morning evening, God bless him, he's not with us anymore. He happened to be very friendly that day and very talkative, so he got an 8 out of 10 or something. Anyway, I was inspired by the idea, as stupid as it is. So that's what you've got to do. That's kind of the creative process. It doesn't matter that the idea may be stupid. It's the great thing about the technology we have now. For someone like me, it doesn't work with everybody, because a lot of people don't use any of this stuff, and they wouldn't be caught dead uploading something of themselves that was different to the mask they normally show. But I've got so many things that I enjoy creating, like what I'm doing now, just this kind of audio blog. And I enjoy listening to these things myself. One thing, it helps me to sleep sometimes. But each one is kind of different. And by listening to myself afterward for a while, you know, like an hour of one of these things, I can kind of gain sometimes a more objective view of myself. But to get back to what I was saying, how do we increase our faculties, our inner domain? So that you find interest in all kinds of areas. Like a walk home becomes an opportunity for audio or video. Bonjour. And maybe when you get home, the weather's nice, you sit outside, you can look at things, listen to the sounds, and it's enough. Bonjour. The other thing on my mind at the moment is I do hope my can I say teeth, where I had the cyst removed and where he blocked the canals. It still feels kind of odd. One tooth feels odd. I'm wondering, is it always going to feel like that? Do I just need to get used to it? And sometimes when I move my mouth in a certain way, it's kind of a strange feeling as well. I guess it's just going to take more time. A lot of people out today. There's a lot of kids. I think it's a holiday here. Holidays. Yeah, the tools of the internet and all the audio devices I've had and have, radios, things that I can make videos about. It's cool that I've got the means to be kind of electronically creative, and you can be like an artist. You know, what you do doesn't have to make sense, doesn't have to be a straightforward review of something or a comment on something. You can be as abstract as you want. It's your channel. So you can put together all kinds of weird things. Like painting. You could add this type of audio to something completely different. You could take a Grand Theft Auto sequence that you've recorded with the guy just walking down the street, and you could add this audio over it and see what that's like. Well, we're not always in the humor. That's okay too. You don't have to be. If you're not in the humor for doing anything extravagant, of course you can do the simplest things. Because it feels good to upload something, no matter what it is. Feeling is kind of the same. Whether it's a video you've worked on for 2 days or something that's taking you 20 seconds. Spontaneous. Bonjour. Oh, who's that? Hello, fella. Hello, fella. Good boy. I'd like to break into your garden. Ah, more like Tuco you are. Where are you? Yeah. Terrier. It's funny how ideas come as well. You don't really have to chase them down. They'll come to you, I find. Out of the blue sometimes. Getting older is a strange thing. I still haven't fully gotten used to the way I look when I video myself. That's one of the good things about this cheap new 360-degree camera. Because of the nature of the lens, it can give you the impression that you're quite far away from the camera, which is good because the further away from the camera, the better you kind of look. You don't see the agey things. Whereas if you've got certain cameras right in front of your face, or you're using your phone, there's the undeniable effects of age. The dropping of the skin around the jawline. And occasionally I see that when I'm doing stuff. Again, it depends on the way you're recording the thing. Depends on indoors, outdoors, the light. You can kind of hide it, but sometimes I catch, especially in the car. I've recorded me and Flo in the car, and we both really look. Well, we look different than we did when we were in London. Sometimes we don't look that different, but in the car, you can ask yourself, so which is the right image? That beautiful picture you did, that you took one morning, or that image from this Mobius camera in the car? I don't know. Anyway, you see there's no getting away from the effects of age. It's a look that sets you apart from anybody under 30. There's a firmness of the skin that disappears. And you could have, I'm sure, there are procedures that you could turn back the clock a little bit. I don't think I'd ever go through with something like that, though. Not because I don't have the vanity, but because I'd be too scared it mightn't go according to plan. Might leave me looking worse. Sure. That whole family passed me without saying anything. Maybe they didn't hear me. So yeah, you see the age thing and you think, and there's no getting away from it. It's kind of a shocking thing. I think a decade has gone quite quick, and I think in another decade, maybe well into my 60s. And although I can look at my mother, and besides her knee operation and some high cholesterol and some other tablets she has to take, she seems to be in pretty good shape. You know, especially mentally, she seems to be enjoying herself. They go away, she's got the sisters, so that's a good role model, if you like. And I've seen a guy on TV last night. My God, he was 111 apparently. He looked about 70. So who knows how the longevity works. That's the mystery of it as well. You don't know whether you could have 1 year left, or in my case, it could be 50, 60 years left. Who knows? But the aging on Flo's side, she doesn't really have a good view of that. She doesn't see her parents as anything that would cause any inspiration for her. She sees the I don't know what the word is for the decline in her father. Her mother seems to be doing better. Then you can see people like Mick Jagger turning up in a movie a year or two ago, looking pretty cool. You see Clint Eastwood going on and on. Gene Hackman. But there's a whole wealth of material to be put into the difference between a 50-year-old and a 20-year-old. The psychological difference. I never really thought about these things before. Maybe I should read that book, Stuck in the Wolf again. Specifically for someone that's just can't turn 50. I'm on YouTube a lot, and a lot of the people on YouTube are very young, I think. So a lot of streams and a lot of these people's views on philosophy or religion, I find at odds, to say the least, with my views. But I forget that most of these people are probably quite young. You have to bring time to the whole thing. You can't really look at a 20-year-old or talk to a 20-year-old as if you're talking to a 50-year-old. It's different. There's just simply faculties in the mind, I think, that haven't yet been constructed. A 20-year-old, quite rightly, has no idea what it's like to be 50. Has a preconceived, most idealistic view of themselves and their youth. And they think they'll grow older, but remain exactly the same. You're exactly the same in terms of their psychology and their strength of will and their views and their wants and motivations. But the thing that changes probably the most is the psychology. You don't want the things you used to want. And you do start thinking about things you would never thought about before. And I guess certain issues start to get large in the rearview mirror that weren't before. Health issues and just time itself. kind of delicacy of it all, the lack of any real control over what's around the corner. You know, I would have thought David Bowie would live to be at least 100. But just because he's David Bowie, and just because he's living a reasonably healthy lifestyle, I guess that didn't stop his number from being called. It doesn't really matter. It's just like a game of chance. There's so many ways of dying. One shouldn't think about these things if they're depressive. It's kind of thinking exercises should be to try and kind of fill you with a certain appreciation for the small things. Being able to take a deep breath, being able to walk home in the sunshine without being in any distress. Controlling the mind is really what it's all about. Sometimes I lie in bed, I can't sleep. And I start to get these creeping nightmare scenarios. Creeping is the right word. Creeping into my mind. And I've got the ability over the years to just say, oh man, what are you doing to yourself? These particular thoughts about this or that are absolutely positively negative to you, and you're doing it to yourself. You have to sit down this particular scenario. You have to turn off that thought. And you really do. And if that means getting out of bed and making some tea or plugging yourself into some kind of anything music, you have to do it. You can't start trying to go along step by step with some of these scenarios. It's no good to try and negotiate with these things. It's just your imagination. At the end of the day, you should never ever be doing battle with yourself. There's no point. It's stupid. I've learned that, and I've learned to shut those thoughts down and be able to recognize that, wow, this is a terrible, stupid thing to do to oneself, to disturb oneself. Because it is all in the mind, it's all regurgitating stuff. I mean, it's all part of the collection from the culture a person is in. It's from 50 plus years of collecting rubbish from movies, news stories, books and whatnot, and adding my own spin to them. Oh, Jordan. Joe. Yeah. Attending. Intending. It's You don't have to continually feel inspired to do something. You don't have to have a collection of things waiting to be done. Yeah, and talking in an artistic way. You don't have to have a backlog of projects, you know. And I do have one at the moment, and if I didn't, something else would come. There's no hurry. Enjoy. No rush. The only thing we've got is time. We have to make use of it in as most beneficial way to ourselves as possible. We shouldn't let anyone, and by anyone I mean mainly ourselves, take away the time. If a day comes where you're down, depressed, melancholy, and it just seems like there's nothing you can do about it, then you should try and take that in an artistic way too. Try and learn from it, build something from it. But still be aware of the time and not wasting it. And of course, wasting time is not being idle. You can be the most busy person in the world. Go, go, go. And still be wasting time. Or you can be sitting by a stream, just simply meditating, and be using the time in a very beneficial way. It's not about the doings. Doings are just doings. There's a whole section of, I don't know whether it's maybe the Western psychology, which seems to find the idea of not doing something at all times to be bad. You're wasting time if you're not planning or working or scheming or creating. You can be just as easily creating and meditating, just sitting still. Walking is a pretty good doing. I'm going to check the mail. Flo just went in the red car. Nothing good. Still sniffling. How about that? Same time. The chances of that, huh?
Yeah.
Millions to one. No, not really. Pretty good chance that would happen once in a while. And the little fella were all coming together. That's great. Did the birds take my stuff? It doesn't look like they touched anything.
No, the ball were like that.
Hello!
You finished a lot, your ball, no?
They were like that this morning, I think.
Really?
Well, I'll see, but...
It's not the best time of the day. The best time of the day is morning. Alors, bonjour, ça. Bonjour, ça.
Hello, little fella. Hello, little fella. Hello. Do you want to say thank you for listening? Please join us again for the Eddie Fitzgerald Show tomorrow.
Thank you for listening. Please join us again tomorrow for the Eddie Fitzgerald Show.
We will be discussing more psychological topics.
And of course, we will be discussing more psychological topic.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That's all for now. Over and out.